Hello, Flimsy Lunch Tray, and today I have a special treat for you, or maybe it's a sad reminder. I'm not sure which. But this is a battle from some time ago. Let's look at the date. But this was the pre-commander rework that came in update 0.10.0. I think this happened in like the spring of 2019, I believe. No, spring of 2020. Sorry, spring of 2020, I believe, is when this battle took place. And I've been meaning to feature this video forever, and I just stumbled across it again a couple days ago and decided that, hey, I need to show this battle. Because one, it's a really fun battle and really showcases things in the game before the commander rework happened. Let me put it that way. But because if you're new and you're wondering why do I say this is a special treat or maybe a sad reminder, is in the commander rework, the secondaries essentially got buffed, or not buffed, they got nerfed for the US battleships. And what I mean by nerf, I mean originally, you, in your commander build, you had the option for, I think, secondary manual fire control. Your secondaries would only fire from one side, and I think it was like tier 7 and up or tier 8 and up. Your accuracy would increase by, the dispersion would decrease by 60%, negative 60%. So it meant your accuracy for your secondaries were improved, and your secondaries only fired when you selected a target, like you see I'm doing here on the map Estuary. And it was amazing. And it was this battle where I really felt like I finally grasped the Massachusetts really well. For what you see I will do in probably 4 or 5 minutes from now, as I'm kind of filling out what's going on this flank. But it really showcased to me how strong Massachusetts secondaries were. And I know they are, but this battle was just kind of a turning point for me as a player. You can kind of see there's some calls that I make that I would say whether questionable. Like, I would love to have had AD loaded here, but I had HE loaded for the destroyer. But yeah, it's just now with the commander rework, you don't get your secondaries fire from both sides, but the improved secondary battery aiming is negative 35% instead of that previous negative 60%. And that negative 60% really made a huge difference, in my opinion, versus the negative 35%. I don't feel like I can still do damage to destroyers confidently as I was used to be able to do. I feel like I really struggled when I tested out a really hardcore secondary build on Massachusetts after the commander rework. So this is a battle for you today in Big Mammy, also known as Mighty Mammy, showcasing that pre-secondary fire control before the commander rework happened. And again, never sure whether I had AP loaded here. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about this battle. So you can kind of see most of our teams on this side of the map, and I'm sitting here. One was there's a whole bunch of smoke. I couldn't see any what was happening beyond this cap, and I'm sitting broadside, and then also I'm firing HE when AP would have been more ideal for several of those ships. So with how the battle is going, I decided that I need to do something different. I'm not getting very far in this flank. Let's change it up. And so I'm actually going to go into the center of our cap in Bravo. And it's actually, I don't know how much I would actually do this now, but before the update 10.0, when I played Massachusetts is my favorite ship in the game. After this battle, I always play in Bravo. or if it's like I'm on the opposite side of the map, I'd play in that cap. Because partly what you're going to see, but when you had the pre-secondaries, you know, negative 60%, you were so accurate with your secondaries being able to really deal with destroyers, because often destroyers like to push around and maybe sometimes sneak through into the Bravo cap here. And so my goal was, one, I'm a gatekeeper against destroyers pushing through, because with my really good secondaries, and you're going to see a really good example of my secondaries in a little bit here shortly. And then also getting these cross shots, being in the center positioned, means I can get some broadside shots off on cruisers and battleships pushing up. So that's really like after this battle, I always played in this B or C cap, depending on which side I spawn on and what team I'm on. So right now I'm trying to see if I can get a window here on this island and shooting the ship that I saw in the distance a minute ago. But it doesn't seem to be happening, so we're going to push back in. And you can see how, because of the secondary manual fire control, I mean, you have to be proactive in selecting ships, because I see players before this rework who wouldn't select ships, and then so their secondaries wouldn't fire because they didn't select the ship, and that was like really important not to forget when you're playing Massachusetts or playing a secondary battleship in general with that specific commander skill. I mean, this was when, let's see, a priority target was a 1-point skill, adrenaline rush was a 2-point skill, superintendent was a 3-point skill. You know, now priority target's a 2-point skill, adrenaline rush is a 3-point skill, and superintendent, whatever it's called now, is a 4-point skill. I'm giving you the extra heal, and they broke that skill apart too. Annoying. So yeah. So you can see we got 3 heals left. I didn't have superintendent on this build. I actually ended up redoing this build in the fall, and then now I've redone it again since the commander rework, and I have a video on my current build in Massachusetts, and I can drop that in the description below. So I've got 2 fires burning on me right now. I'm not repairing it because the destroyer off to the left, I'm not sure if maybe there are torpedoes coming, and so that's why I'm just going to decide I'm going to push straight up, and I can just burn a heal here in a minute as well, because I had basics of survivability, so the fire time doesn't last quite as long in this pre-commander rework build. So I'm kind of looking, so maybe I can get a blind shot on him, but then I decide my fire just went out. I would rather go dark and not have him set me on fire again, so I don't think I shoot here. But I go ahead and pop the heal because this is where the action is going to happen. We're ahead right now in points, but there's a lot of different enemy teams, like members who are low on health, but they're not 6 foot under yet, so I intend to start putting them 6 feet under. So I'm letting my heal do its work a little bit more before I push out here. I'm wondering, is the Richelieu over there, is he got his guns looking at me, because it looks like the destroyer is backtracking because he knows I'm going to push in here in the Minsk. So I pop spider plane to get eyes over the corner of this island, and broadside, and AP loaded. Oof. As I push up, that's when I notice that Trento's coming in, so I'm going to set my secondaries to him because I want to get rid of him. And I'm going to stay angled. There's no need to show more broadside or more of my side right now because my guns are reloading. As you can see, I turned in and negated most of that damage. And I'm trying to select the Minsk here, but I keep selecting the cruiser here, so that's a bit annoying, so I'll switch back to him. Now watch the secondaries here. Like, just watch how accurate they are in dealing damage to the Minsk. Minsk, how do you say it? Like, watch this. You shoot at your chunk there, and then 1400 health. 1 salvo of my secondaries kills him. Try doing that now. So we're continuing to cause havoc. We avoid some torpedoes there. And then I noticed that there's a destroyer in front of me. Uh-oh, I'm in danger. And so there's torpedoes coming from the rear. I got torpedoes coming from the front. And I've got the carrier on my left dropping torpedoes on me. Yeah. It's a spicy moment. So I'm kind of expecting to die, maybe roughly right here, but I'm trying to take this cruiser with me. And I've got secondaries going on, yep, on the destroyer, and we get him. Satisfying double strike. And we've managed to get away from the Richelieu from taking us out. And now I'm really conscious about carrier sending planes in on me because my health's so low. But with that 40-second cooldown, cooldown on the heal, we get our repair party up and going. So we're actually going to do quite fine here. And that's when we spot the Edinburgh over here to my starboard. But I'm kind of figuring out who I want to go for right now because we've got this, was it Colorado? So I'm trying to see on my mini-map who's off to the northwest there. So I got secondaries going to Edinburgh, trying to get my rear turret around. Hoping to smack him. Edinburghs and Fijis are my favorite ships to shoot when I'm in Massachusetts. Often can get good hits. So I'm just kind of getting a shot lined up here on the Colorado. Hoping maybe this will be a 6th kill. But the first salvo lands a bit short, and the second salvo also lands a bit short, so we will not be getting our 6th kill there. But then CV, the Furious, is still sending planes in. The Monarch is not doing too well on health. The Edinburgh is pushing up, and then so I should be slowing down here to see if I can't get some shots on him. So you can see, even though I've taken out 5 of the enemy team, it's still kind of close. I mean, it is close. I mean, you look at Monarch's health, you look at our destroyer's health. We're not in the best position per se right now, and I'm kind of trying to keep angled because I want to find out if this Richelieu is going to come through. The Edinburgh has popped up. He's in reverse. So then it's something, if you don't know if your main battery can get over an island, don't fire all of the entire salvo in the first one. But because those go high enough, then I sequential fire them, knowing that I'll be able to get over. And Citadel. So that's going to secure 6 kills, 50% of the enemy team dead by our hands. And so still trying to figure out what this Richelieu is doing. As the CV continues, since we're playing in, it looks like he's being really passive. So then I decide, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and turn bow in. I'm trying to get our priority AA sector on these Furious planes, because the Monarch looks like he's healed a little bit. But now it looks like the Richelieu is going to come out now. Now you got my turn going. And the Monarch is going to hit him pretty good here. Yeah. And so basically we just kill securing. So yeah. 7 kills. Although there's going to be a few kills and we didn't do much damage to them. But still, like, that's the, you have players who can get really salty about kill stealing. But I've seen, it's those enemy players who live at 3,000 health that get away that end up turning the tide of the battle. So it's always good to try to get rid of those types of players. So trying to keep our AA all strong on the Furious, and he just takes a massive chunk of damage. And so I'm asking the CV if he can drop fighter planes, but then I just realized he already did drop fighters on the Monarch. So yeah, because there's multiple of us are low in health right now, so it's not going to take much for the Furious to knock us out, depending on how well he does here. So the Furious is somewhere over there. I'm pinging the map. I'm not getting too far away from the Monarch just because I want to be able to stay here and help give him some AA coverage. As I kind of angle to the right here, I wasn't sure if the Fierce is coming in on me or not, so I didn't want to give him a specifically straight lineup, but it looks like he's flying around. So it looks like he might be trying to stay on my AA bubble as long as he can. Three ships, not enough AA to prevent that from coming through. And that's a tier 6 CV too. Yeah. Back when the problems we had in World of Warships were not as terrible. And you can see that even the brawling was pretty decent. I mean, of course, we kind of took the initiative there and pushing into C-Cap. There's a pop-up spotter here. So it's really enjoyable brawling secondary battle here. And since the rework of 0.10.0, as I record this at the start of 0.10.2, I've not had a battle like this. I've not had a good brawling battle, secondary battle. This hasn't happened yet. The only thing I could actually even begin to consider would be a co-op battle that I had in Georgia. I got over 300,000 damage and destroyed 6 ships. Yeah. But that's co-op, not randoms. Randoms is a bit more exciting in that regard when you're dealing with human players. But so I was starting to get away from the Furious planes, but I overturned or oversteered too much to the port here. So I'm actually a bit stuck on the island right now. So I'm sitting duck and yeah, and still really concerned. Even though it's a tier 6 CV. I mean, you kind of saw what he did flying through 3 AA bubbles a little bit ago. Still gets the first drop off. Yeah. Trying to get this last shot popped off before my spotter plane goes down. Now I'm trying to get the Miyoko to push towards A with me, so our A would be teamed up, as you kind of saw me asking in chat for him to stick with, but he didn't. But this Fierce player is actually doing really well. He's doing what he should be doing and lining up his drops well and whatnot. But he missed over half that, so that worked well for us there. But our Mahan and Miyoko are going to be able to move in here, and they're going to be able to finish him off, which is going to work quite well for us, and that we're going to live and survive through this battle. I think 7 is still my highest ship kill count, and I think I share that also with the Mahan. It's also on Estuary, but lost that match even though it killed 7 of the enemy team players. So let's go post-battle results. So I did 113,000 damage, almost 600,000 credits, almost 8,000 XP, and 479 free XP with a nice double strike, 4 close quarters, Dreadnought and Kraken Unleashed with the 7 kills and 6 set on fire. So yeah, it was nice. And that's only with 113 secondary hits too. 4 close quarters, 113 secondary hits. You can't do that now. We're going to top the team with 2,071 base experience. And the Colorado on in between, actually, he did pretty good there. Held that as long as he did. So yeah, so the Mahan and Miyoko all pulling together there. You can see definitely got some chunked damage on the Richelieu, the Edinburgh, the La Glacial, however you pronounce that ship. And then you can see what our secondaries did in chewing apart the Minsk, the Mas, and the Trento. And then the other ship I can't see off to the right that apparently killed for the less health. It's a little bit of kill secured, but still over 530,000 total credits received, all said and done with premium account. So yeah, so I was, as I watched this battle kind of a couple days ago, I was just like, wow, like this is just a really good battle. It was such an enjoyable battle. Like my hands were shaking after it, as you can see. Let's see the date. Yeah, April 14th. Yeah, yeah, April 14th, 2020. And that's almost a year ago. And now you can't play like this in World of Warships. It's really a bittersweet memory because of, oh man, like I remember the days before 0.10.0 update when you could pull games like this and do fine. And now I couldn't do this again. Yeah, I don't know. It's sad. It's sad. But I hope for those of you who've been around long enough, maybe this reminded you of the good old times, I'll say, when it came to the secondary brawling with the U.S. battleship like the Massachusetts. So if you liked this battle, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more. And if you already subscribed, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. And again, if you are curious to know what type of build I do on Massachusetts as of the commander rework 0.10.0, I have a link down in the description. And you can talk more about that video there. So until next time, take care.